Right. Today we are going to discuss about pitching, art of pitch. So, what is a sales pitch? A sales pitch is a condensed sales presentation where a salesperson explains the nature and benefits of their business, ideally in less 1 or 2 minutes. Sales pitches are often referred to as elevator pitches because they should be able to be delivered within the time concentrate of a single elevator ride. All right. Salesperson uh, persons are people are past the point of giving prospects hour-long presentations to sell products or sales services. Nobody has that kind of time, and to be honest, if you need an hour to relay your value proposition, you are done it wrong. They are called elevator pitches for a reason. Ideally, if you are giving me one, I should be able to understand what you have to offer in the time it takes to get from the lobby to my floor. A good salesperson should be able to get their message across completely and concisely. If you can nail your sales pitch, odds are you will have more time to talk down the line. What is a product pitch? A product pitch is not much different than a sales pitch, but is specifically focused on a product or service. You will go in depth and emphasize how your product works, how it will solve their pain points, and the specific benefits it will bring to your customers. As an example, a sales pitch can be broadly focused, like if you are a consulting firm that offers a wide range of services, you are selling your business as a whole rather than a specific product or service, like a CRM platform or accounting tool. How to start a pitch? Starting a pitch is arguably the hardest part. You have to grab your prospects' attentions to that they actually want to hear the value of your product and how it can help their business. But before you can share the product's value, you have to hook the prospect. Sorry. When starting your pitch, you will want to integrate the following essential elements. Start with the problem. Always start with the problem. Unless they know the problem you can solve, they won't be able to hearing how your product is a solution. Tailor the start of the pitch to their vertical. No one wants to hear a general pitch that would apply to any business. Research their vertical and use the information you found to personalize the pitch immediately. Offer states, if they don't solve the problem using your solution, what do they have to lose? You don't need to state it in such clear terms, but alluding to the risks at the start of your pitch can help you seek a buy-in straight away. Here are a few methods for starting a pitch, product pitch, but remember to Try stick to the 30 seconds or 1 to 2 sentences if you are delivering the pitch via email. Start off with a personal anecdote. Start off a pitch with what you know best yourself. While I don't think you should focus solely on yourself throughout your entire pitch. Starting off with a personal anecdote can help you speak with more authenticity and faster empathy. The key here is not to focus on the product's merits. How many products pitches start off with, this product helped me achieve X result in X amount of time? A lot. And I'm already on it. And no one cares about results unless they know the problem first. Your personal anecdote should focus on a problem that your product can solve. Make it as excruciating as you had like. And don't forget to be genuine and connect your anecdote to their business. Ask a question that relates to the problem you solve. Oh yes, the good old question, while it might verge on overused, it is not to be dismissed. Asking a question is a highly effective way to start a pitch. The question should again focus on the problem. Stick to yes or no questions and tailor it specifically to the business you are pitching to. If you are speaking to a real estate business, create a question that articulates a problem specifically experienced by real estate firms. Start with a stat that resonates and offers take. Starting with a stat can effective, but it has to resonate with the audience and offer stakes. In the words, what does the stat have to do with the problem? How does it reflect a potential and critical downfall that could harm your prospect? That is, say, that you are a salesman of your yard maintenance services. Starting off with 50% of homes don't use yard maintenance service is a lazy and boring way to begin your pitch. Consider instead 50% of homes don't use yard maintenance services, resulting in thousands paid to it every year. Now that you know how to start a pitch, it is time to deliver the rest of it. Use the following tips to seek a buy in less than 3 minutes. Make it short, make it clear, explain who your customers are, explain the problem they are facing, explain how your product addresses their needs, describe what success will look like as a result of using your product. All right. So first one, make it short. A sales pitch is not a conventional presentation. You are not going to have PowerPoint slides. You are not going to have complimentary pastries and on a bedroom or boardroom table. And most of all, you are not going to have your audience's time and patience for long. At least not until they are sold on your product. Make it clear. This ties in with the previous point. You don't have the time to go on tangents or talk about anything but the message you are trying to get across. Your pitch has to be long and to the point. It has to register with your listener immediately. That means speaking with intention and clarity. If you are pitching a product, you want to ensure that you clearly communicate how it will solve your prospects' pain points, giving them a clear picture of how their day-to-day will improve if they decide to make a purchase. Explain who your customers are. Consider the picture you are going to paint in your pitch. Give your listeners perspective on who is buying your product or service. They want to know that you have a lucrative, engaged market in mind. Be specific in identifying who will be interested in your product and try to convey why your listeners should be interested in them. Explain the problem they are facing. Cover why your customer base needs you. Your target market is only as valuable as the problems you can solve for them. Convey a problem they consistently face. If you are pitching a spreadsheet software for accountants with functionality Excel doesn't have, you could discuss how hard it is to bookkeep without your software's unique features. Explain how your product addresses their needs. Here is where you start to bring it all home. You have established who you are selling to. You have established why you are selling to them. Now you have to establish why they buy from you. They should buy from you. What can you do better than your competition? As mentioned above, you need to clearly explain how your product addresses their needs. Continuing with the accounting example, you could touch on how your unique data visualization features make busy work more efficient. Describe what success with your product will look like. Show the benefits of your product on a broader scale. In this example we have been using, you can talk about how accountants that use your software have more time to spend with important clients or the flexibility to spend time with their families. Show how your product makes your customers' lives better as a whole. Ideally, your pitch should be a one-line summarizing what your company does, how they do it, and for whom. The sales pitch framework. If you have time to properly expand and work on a conversation, touch on points of interest. Here's a framework you can use for building your elevator pitch. Problem. Start with a statement or question about the problem you solve. You can present the problem using a personal anecdote, question, or eye-opening statistic. Answer the why. Value statement. Share a very clear, concise statement of value. Be action-oriented and outcome-focused. Avoid using jargon. Share benefits. How we do it. Highlight unique differentiators and explain what you do. Proof points. Provide clear reference examples and list recognizable achievements. Share industry validation and awards. Customer stories. Share customer examples and successes. Tell emotional and personalized customer stories. Make it real and tangible. Engaging question. Close the pitch with an open-ended question, creating a space to have a conversation. Many companies use success stories in their pitches to ensure the sale. Name dropping really works, so be sure to use that to your advantage. And if your product is small or light enough to keep in your pocket, you should always have one on hand to show your prospect. I always stress the needs for a concise sales pitch. So keep it free of professional jargon, don't get into the weeds, and be sure to talk more about your prospect and their problems than yourself. Distribution matters. Lastly, presentation and distribution are everything you need to deliver your sales pitch to the right person at the right time with the right tools on hand, like a demo, free trial, or presentation. The sales starts with your list of contacts. Define your list and personas. Know their contact information, get an introduction, and make sure you contact them at a time of day when they are likely to respond. Sales pitch idea. Tell us a story. Keep your listeners engaged by telling a brief story. The story could be either about the company or how a customer found success through your product or service. In this latter example, you can start with the issue the customer was facing, lead into the solution, and end with the key result the customer achieved. If you think storytelling is difficult, don't fret. Just think of your favorite movies and TV shows. How did they keep you engaged? Try to emulate these same tricks as you try to storytelling during a sales pitch. Use images and interactive elements to enrich the experience for your listeners, keeping in mind who your audience is and what their preferences are. Storytelling do's and don'ts. Don'ts. Use jargon or business speak. Focus too much on yourself or your brand. Leave pilot holes. Make your character too perfect. Skim over the detail. Sell your CTA too hard. Overcomplicate the story. Do's. Use visuals to show your ideas. Know your audience. Outline your plot and core message. Be honest. Go deep. Make it useful. Leave room for imagination. Include a value proposition. What value will you provide for this person or their company? While your pitch should be short and sweet, the value proposition is the core of your sales pitch. To offer the greatest amount of impact, your value prop should come after you identify the problem that your prospect faces in their day-to-day. The value prop is the prospect solution, proposed solution, and is the make or break moment of your pitch. Create a value position canvas to guide the wording of your value prop. that will be easier to approach. Personalize the sales pitch. Who are you talking to? Make sure your sales pitch is relevant to them and piques their interest. You will be able to customize it so it addresses the items that are most important to the person you are speaking with. This idea applies to any pitching method or technique you use. No matter what the sales pitch should speak to your prospects' highly specific pain points and needs. For instance, if you are pitching your bookkeeping software to the sole proprietor of a freelance business, you might emphasize this easy and simple invoicing tool. For personalization to have the most impact, you must have had a productive discovery call where you ask questions that uncovered your prospects' most urgent needs. Switch up your pitch. There are a variety of sales pitch types to choose from. The one-word sales pitch. Reduce the entirety of your value proposition and company mission to one word. For instance, HubSpot's one-word sales pitch might be growth. The question sales pitch. Opening your pitch with a question not only piques curiosity, but also engages the end reception. One example would be, how much money does your company waste on manual sales activities that could be automated? Right? So, remain sales pitch. Using rhyme can make your pitch more memorable to buyers and even incite a laugh. For instance, if I were pitching Sales Hub to a potential business, I might say Sales Hub covers every sales need from bottom to top and makes you on an elite member of the sales automation club. I'm absolutely not a poet through. The subject line sales pitch. If you are primarily selling your product over email, you can craft a sales subject line that pitches the product or prospects. The Twitter sales pitch. You don't need to get on Twitter for this one. Instead, think about how you had word your pitch if you only had 280 characters to work with. What would you emphasize? What would you omit? The pixel sales pitch. Place your ideal buyer persona, their key problem, and their solution in a story that more or less follows the familiar Pixar structure. Practice your pitch. Practice, practice, practice. Once you have created your pitch, practice it so you feel comfortable presenting it in front of prospective clients. You can do this a few ways by simply standing in front of a mirror and practicing, by filming yourself using a phone or a laptop camera, or by role playing with a colleague. We especially recommend the last option because you can get live feedback during or after the exercise. Role playing is a valuable sales training technique that helps you Build your pitching muscles while also putting you in situation where you will have to think on your feet. Your college might switch up the script on you precisely to emulate what it would be like to speak with a prospect in real time. Try not to use metaphors. Also, your sales pitch is not happening in an English classroom. The idea of incorporating vivid, clever comparisons might seem effective in theory, but there's a good chance you might confuse your prospect. Remember, you want to keep things clear. If you feel compelled to use metaphors, keep them business related or extremely familiar, like it is important to walk before you run, or we should compare apples or apples. Don't use sport related metaphors unless you have made a connection with your prospect on that basis. Maybe they played baseball as a child like you did, or you are both fans of same sports team. Create a wow moment. One way to ensure your pitch is memorable is by blowing the listener or reception's mind. You might do this by stating a fact that is intuitive, demonstrating the product services best selling point in a shocking way, telling an outlandish story, or emphasizing your product's most unique feature. For instance, let's say that you have established your company's customer service as of your key selling points. During an office visit, you might take the prospect on a tour of the customer service floor to show them the service team in action, and even introduce them to the chief customer officer on a first name basis. Talk about creating a positive impression. With that move, you will cement the authenticity of your claims while delighting your prospect. Appeal to emotions. Understanding your customers is central to consistently nailing sales pitches. And when you do, it is good to convey that. One way to do so is to use empathy, revolve your pitch around their life experience, and find commonalities between you and them. Try to find out small tidbits about their career, their upbringing, or even their childhood so you can use empathetic statements and connect on a more personal level. Back it up with facts. While consumers make decisions more often with emotion, they still need to rationalize the decision to themselves and or the other key stakeholders. By providing statistic or case studies that support the emotional appeal, you are providing credibility that will help them feel as though, though they are making the right decision. For case studies, specifically, we recommend incorporating a few into your sales pitch presentation. If there's no time to cover the specifics, include a QR code or shortened link where it is easy for prospects to access your case study library. Tap into their fear of missing out. Fear of missing out, FOMO, is a powerful motivator and can create a great sense of urgency. The last thing you want is for them to be dazzled by your sales pitch, but procrastinate long enough for that feeling to fade away. Instead, get them to take action right away. educate them. You want to establish yourself as an authority in your space. Some interesting, relevant facts can help grab your customers' attention and add a certain degree of legi- legitimacy and trustworthiness to your pitch. In addition, provide more resources that the prospect can refer to as they continue exploring your company and your offerings. That way, they can find out more at their own space. It is also important to provide supplemental information that doesn't necessarily educate them about your product, but about how they can do things more efficiently at their business. So let's discuss some great sales pitch examples. Merck. For 130 years, Merck, now as MSD outside of the US and Canada, has been inventing for life, bringing forward medicines and vaccines for many of the world's most challenging diseases in pursuit of our mission to save and improve lives. If you were a hospital or pharmacy considering using Merck's solutions, you should be convinced by this speech. Why? Mercs know that values and strong scientific foundations drive business decisions in the healthcare industry. They capitalize on that by emphasizing their long history and trying their work into their mission. In that way, it sends a message that resonates with its target audience. GC G2 crowd. G2 plays a huge role by providing unique, authentic peer advice in a real time. We give buyers better audience guidance than traditional analysis firms, which can take up to 2 years to update and publish technology research. That timeline just can't keep up with the pace of technology. At G2, we aim to be a trusted source that helps every business professional in the world make better technology decisions. This is an interesting way to build your pitch. Make a note of what really annoys your customer and pitch how your service can resolve these grievances. It is another way to reframing the customer's needs, and it works because it is a powerful way to describe the situation. Why a short sales pitch is a good pitch? An important note to make about these sales pitches is that they are all amazingly optimized for a short conversation. I can't stress enough how much brevity matters for a sales pitch. Talking too much, using filler words, and talking about your company for more than 2 minutes can easily kill a conversation. So keep your sales pitch short, clean, and simple. Your customers will thank you. So we are going to end the today lesson. I hope to uh, mm, go to next lesson, next chapter on next day. Uh, I hope you guys done well the previous exam. So we are giving 2 or 3 exams in this question course. You must take high scores in those exams because the scores of those exams will get to calculate overall score. So as the next chapter, we are discussing client-oriented strategy. So we can end today session. Thank you. Have a nice day.